We had a nice meeting with the President earlier today. Republican senators, virtually all were there, shared their thoughts, and the President responded. And all in all, it was a good exchange. Those are the kind of meetings that I don't talk about what is said in detail or quote anyone. I was asked by a number of reporters what happened and what could you say about it. And I guess my conclusion is that not much happened, that no commitments were made that I could see that indicated that the President had made any change in the budget he had submitted or the speech he gave somewhat amending his budget a few weeks ago. He did not make any changes in the plan that I'm seeing out there. He was open, discussed it, maybe something will happen. The President complied with the Budget Act a week late by submitting his budget. And his budget failed to meet the requirements of our time to a very significant degree. Every witness we've had in our budget committee, I'm the ranking Republican on it, has indicated and told us, many in great detail and with passion, we're on an unsustainable course. You can't continue to borrow 40 cents of every dollar and try to fund a government borrowing that kind of money, and that we will hit a budget deficit this year of $1.5 trillion, the largest in the history of America. And in 4 years, the President will have doubled the entire debt of the United States based on the trillion-dollar deficits he's had each single year. So this is not an acceptable path for us to be on. Indeed, President Obama's budget was not serious. President Obama's budget took the current spending line for 10 years that the Congressional Budget Office says we're on, and it made it worse. It made the deficit worse, $2 trillion worse than the current plan we were on. Totally unacceptable. He proposed in his budget increasing education funding by 10.5%, increasing Energy Department funding 9.5%, increasing State Department funding 10.5%, and proposed increasing the Transportation Department 62%. I mean, in a time when inflation is, 2%? We're having those kind of increases, and we say we're submitting a budget that recognizes we're on an unsustainable course and we've got to change? Well, it was unacceptable. So we were told by our budget chairman, Senator Conrad, who it's been a pleasure to work with, that we would have a budget markup beginning this Monday. Told us that last week. Well, it didn't happen on Monday, and then maybe it was going to be Tuesday, and maybe it was going to be Wednesday, and then all of a sudden the President invited the Democrats over Wednesday and the Republicans to the White House Thursday, and everything's off. And I asked my staff if we received a notice that we're going to have a budget committee hearing next week, and the answer is no. So what do we say about that? The Budget Act says that the Senate and the House should commence budget action April 1st. Well, we've not done that. It says that a budget should be passed by April 15th. The Senate has not done that. The Republican House has. Well, Mr. Ryan, the brilliant young congressman who's worked on budget issues for many, many years, is the most knowledgeable person probably in America about the details and the financial condition of America. They attacked him like he did something wrong. So the Democratic senators and the president are spending their time attacking the one person who stood up and produced a budget that can be defended, and he's prepared to defend it anywhere, anytime. He goes to town hall meetings, he's stood before the press, he's issued statements, he's explained what his budget is. It may not be perfect, but it's a change. It would put us on a path to financial stability. And what has the Senate done? Complain. And now we have another report, I think it was in the CQ publication, that does work around here and digs up information. They say, well, it looks like it's going to be less spending reductions than that. Looks like it's going to be about $2 trillion in tax increases and only $1.5 trillion in reduced spending. So it's less than even 1-to-1. Well, I think if I were the majority leader, I wouldn't really feel comfortable about bringing such a budget as that before the American people and standing right down here and defending such a weak response to the fiscal crisis that we're now in. Of course that budget is irresponsible, if that's so. And I don't think the American people will be happy with it. I certainly will oppose it with every strength in my body if that's the nature of it. Well, why don't you know, Sessions? Well, I haven't been told what's in it. We asked, the Republican members of the committee wrote the chairman and asked that any budget numbers that are produced be produced 72 hours in advance of the hearing so we can study it, offer amendments or substitute as we chose to do so. We've been basically told that you will get the budget resolution that the chairman intends to file the morning it starts. When you commence the hearing to mark up the budget, we'll be getting the copy of it, what they propose to bring forward. And we really think that that's not a healthy way to do business on a matter this important. I just believe that any party, any president who desires the mantle of a leader, desires to demonstrate a commitment to a firm footing for our financial future, should come forth with a plan as part of the budget process and lay it out so the American people can see it. And I'm becoming very concerned that once again, even though 743 days have passed since a budget has cleared this Senate, that we may not get one this year. What an event. That to me is unthinkable. How irresponsible could we be to go another year under these circumstances? Well, we hope we don't have some new debt crisis. We hope that the people that have been loaning us money don't get so nervous as they've done in Greece that our interest rates surge, puts this economy in a dangerous condition, and damages our country. I hope that's not happening within 2 years or 1 year. Wouldn't that be a disaster for us? How do we prevent it? We take action now that changes the debt trajectory of our country, sends a message to the whole world. We get it. We know we can't continue on this path, and we're changing. And the way our Congress and government is set up, the way that change occurs is through the adoption of a budget. And, Madam President, I remain very disappointed that while the House has produced a historic budget on time by April 15th, we now have not even begun to mark up a budget in the Senate. And that's irresponsible. And we need to know, and the American people need to know, that the majority leader if a budget is passed out of committee, and certainly it should be, that he will move it on the floor and bring it up for vote and amendment and debate. And then it goes to the House in conference, and they hammer out the differences, and we adopt a budget that can help put this country on a sound financial path and avoid the kind of crisis that so many experts have warned us could occur.